Is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar on how to integrate virtual tape backup for IBM. My name is Axe Signer, Vice President of Solutions here at Electronic Storage Corporation. A little background on our company. We have been in business since 1989, located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we are a software developer. So here in our Tulsa office, we have our programming staff as well as our support and customer service team. We are an IBM registered business partner and a Microsoft certified partner. So let's go virtual and talk about replacing physical tape and tape libraries with a virtual solution. Simplify your backup and recovery functions, remote management, backup to dedupe appliances and cloud, and enhance your recovery ability and speed. Now, replacing physical tape libraries with a virtual solution, because a virtual solution will emulate exactly what a tape device can do in terms of backups as well as a tape library. So on the IBM I side, the power systems, utilizing your existing backup commands will simplify your backup process, having all of your backup virtual tapes available online without having to go off site to recover. Remote management, meaning that you can access your virtual tapes remotely through through a web interface to the ViTL solution. Using an existing or dedupe appliance is possible with a product like our LaserVault Vital solution. And also many have interest and a desire to back up to cloud, replicate to cloud storage for additional data protection, additional copies of your backups. And having additional copies of your backups through replication gives you better recovery availability and also recovery speed. So basically, a virtual tape backup solution can reside in your production site as well as a disaster recovery site, giving you the ability to save locally for speed of saves and speeds of restores, but also the ability to replicate those backups to a virtual tape appliance or virtual tape solution at a DR site, or vice versa if you're backing up your DR site and want to replicate to your production site. So either way, that you can have two copies of your backups for disaster recovery purposes. And we'll also talk about cloud backup or cloud replication for second and even third copies of your backups, as well as a way to even copy to tape from virtual tape. So how will virtual tape work with what you're doing today? It's really very simple, because virtual tape solution is going to emulate exactly what either a tape device can do or a tape library or physical tape library. So this means that the transition from a physical tape solution that you may currently have to a virtual tape solution means that you'll be using your existing backup commands, a CL command or CL program that you might be using for your backups, BRMS, robot save, go backup, any of the go save commands, including option 21, which would be your restricted state full system save. And that's important to be able to perform that type of save, whether you're doing it daily, weekly, monthly, whatever retention that you have for a full save. A virtual tape solution gives you the ability to do that full system restricted state save when you need to. Remote management. So this gives you the ability to access your virtual tapes remotely, load virtual tapes remotely, whether you're working from offsite or working from home, whatever the case might be, but you always will have access to your virtual tapes. Fully automated. So if you're currently swapping tapes, say in a physical tape library once a week, then or you're swapping tapes in a tape device every single day, the virtual tape solution just gives the ability to automatically load a virtual tape from the Power system, automatically load a tape like a tape library. And that just gives you the ability to not have to swap out your tapes. Your backups are fully automated to where you will always have a tape loaded for each of your backups automatically. Multi-thread feature. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in terms of using that capability in a save to have faster backups compared to physical tape. Unlimited tape library management. A virtual tape solution such as LaserVault ViTL can actually store up to over 16,000 virtual tapes. So, and at any time you can increase, say you set the number of virtual tapes that you need for all your retentions, your dailies, weeklies, monthlies. You can always increase the number of tapes up to over 16,000 tapes that are stored in a virtual tape library. Archive and purge. So you have the ability to even automatically archive backups, whether that is going to be cloud storage, external disk, archive to tape, because you can copy from virtual tape to physical tape, as well as purge and retention. So you're going to be able to automatically purge backups when they're no longer needed to be stored because they've met their retention. You're also going to have the ability to rotate through. You can also have the ability to rotate through tapes automatically for your dailies, weeklies, and monthly backups. And if you're emulating a tape library with a ViTL solution, then that has auto load and unload features. If you're using with BRMS, Robot Save, those are going to automatically expire your tapes that need to be that have reached their retention, and those will be used again in a backup rotation. So the need for speed. So we'll do a comparison chart here of LTO physical tape devices up to LTO 9 at 400 megabytes per second, whereas a VTL solution, particularly ViTL, our LaserVault ViTL solution, is clocked up to 850 megabytes a second in backup speed. So you're looking at doubling or over doubling the speed of your backups, shortening your backup time, your backup window, and that just gives you the capability of completing those backups quicker so that your system can be up and running, ready to go. Restoring and protecting your data. So fast and reliable recovery time. So it's fast because all of your tapes can be available in a VTL solution to recover anytime that you need them. So no longer going off site, retrieving from Iron Mountain, wherever it is that you're storing tapes off site for disaster recovery. That's no longer a need to do that because all of your tapes can be available to load into the virtual tape device at any time you need to perform a restore. And even replicating your backups, which we'll talk a little bit more about, having a second copy of your backups, having a third copy of your backups. So having the ability to make multiple copies for recovery, because with tape, you're typically just making one backup. You have one copy of your daily each day that you do a backup. And with a virtual tape solution, you're going to be able to have multiple copies. Rule out human error. So anytime there's been a mislabeling of a tape, a lost tape, a damaged tape, this will rule out any of those human errors that can occur with physical tape using a virtual tape solution. Deduplication. So you might have heard of this technology. We actually work with several deduplication appliances such as Exagrid, Cohesity, Rubric, Pure Storage, and many, many others. Simply connecting LaserVault to those storage devices, those deduplication appliances, means that you're going to use a lot less disk space in storing your backups. So your costs in purchasing disk storage would be a lot less because it requires a lot less disk storage, where we're talking compression ratios of 10 to 1 to 40 to 1 or even higher with storing of your backups. And so this also improves the protection of your data because you will be able to, when you perform replication, whether it's to cloud storage or to a disaster recovery site, you'll have the ability to replicate much faster when the data is compressed 10 to 40 to 1 as compared to, say, tape, which is usually like 2 to 1 compression. Okay, so I'm going to go through a quick high-level presentation of what LaserVault ViTL can do, what it looks like. I'm going to start off showing you a web interface for LaserVault ViTL, where you log in with your username and password for security. So I'm going to go first to show you some of the parameters in configuring a tape device or a virtual tape device or a virtual tape library. So we're going to look at the settings for library 1. This is the library path. So this would be where you are storing and writing, saving your backups. So in this particular example, I'm saving to LaserVault to a LaserVault ViTL server with disk storage E volume of disk in that folder library 1. So when a backup is performed from the IBM I side, the virtual tapes reside in the library path and the data is being written to the library path on those virtual tapes. Now that could instead point to SAN, a NAS, deduplication appliance, and even cloud storage, although backing up directly to cloud storage is typically not feasible because of internet speeds. But we'll talk about that in terms of replication. So set your library path to where you want your backups to reside and where you want them to be written. So this means that with a solution like LaserVault ViTL, you're not tied into a particular proprietary backup appliance. You're able to use whatever existing backup solution storage that you currently have or are looking to purchase for other backups of other systems and use that for your IBM I, where you're not having to purchase a whole separate set of disk, a whole separate server full of disk, although you can do that, but the LaserVault ViTL solution gives you the flexibility of choosing what your storage is going to be on your network or local storage on a server. Now, LaserVault supports Ultrium 2 to Ultrium 8. The important thing to know about choosing any of these, which for most will be Ultrium 5 or 8, is that there is no storage limit on any of these LTO options. So if your backup is 20 terabytes, you can use one tape, one virtual tape if you want to. So if your backup expands larger than the current LTO tape you're using today, that means you're using 1 or 2 tapes for a full backup. In this case, you're cutting your inventory of tapes down to 1 tape per backup, unless you're doing things like parallel saves with BRMS, things like that. Then you'd be using storage slots. I've set to 48 storage slots. So this is how many tapes that I can create into this virtual tape library and use for my backups and my retentions. Again, that number can go over 16,000 storage slots for that number of virtual tapes. You can increase that number anytime that you want and add more tapes. So anytime you want to increase the number of storage slots, add more tapes, add more virtual tapes into the tape library. So no more, if you're looking at, well, I need more slots and a physical, you got to buy a whole new physical tape library. But with a virtual solution, you can expand the storage and the number of virtual tapes anytime that you need to without purchasing additional hardware or another tape library. We talked a little bit about multi-thread capability. Well, we have a feature called data block file count, and it's set to 8 currently. So when I perform a save from the IBM I, let's say, for example, I'm saving to a virtual tape volume in LaserVault from the IBM I side, but as the backup is being run, it is actually being written to 8 files. So that one virtual tape, we're writing to 8 separate files at the same time during the backup. This helps increase the backup speed. This is how we get from 400 megasecond up to 850 megasecond in backup speed. Write cache is a function for increasing backup speed. That sweet spot is usually between 8 and 16 meg. Read cache is for restore speed. Now, one thing to note about restores on a virtual tape solution is that a virtual tape solution can go right to the object, the library, where it is located on the virtual tape, and do the restore. And that means the restore begins immediately. So as soon as you execute a restore object, restore library, go into BRMS and select an object or a library to restore, um, we're going to go right to where that file is and begin the restore. So it's no streaming through the tape until it reaches the library or object to do the restore. Now, our particular solution comes with compression. Also, it comes with data deduplication. This feature has been available with the deduplication feature has been available in the LaserVault ViTL solution for about a year and a half now. And results have been great in terms of compression, replication speed, overall data reduction, anywhere from 10 to 1 up to 40 to 1 data reduction in using LaserVault data deduplication. But again, we work with lots of deduplication solutions. I mentioned a few earlier, and therefore those solutions would be performing deduplication, compression, encryption, but we have all those things available as well as encryption, which is AES 256 encryption. Check that box, passkey goes here, and as your data is being saved to disk, it is being encrypted. We've been talking about, mentioned about replication of your backups, so making second copies, third copies of your backups. I've got 3 examples here of replication. Network path, meaning that what you're doing is you're writing to a second LaserVault ViTL server with storage at, say, a DR location or a co-location or service provider, or managed service provider, whatever the case might be. But we're replicating backups from local storage that have just completed the save of a virtual tape and replicating that data to a second location. I also have Microsoft Azure as a replication site, and Amazon S3. Also Wasabi. We have settings built into our replication functionality for Amazon S3, Microsoft Azure, and Wasabi. Now, there are many ways you can use cloud to replicate, whether it's all of your dailies, weeklies, monthlies, whether it's just monthlies only, or quarterlies, or annual backups, because you can select multiple replication jobs. One replication job might replicate weekly volumes to cloud. You might be replicating everything to your DR site, or you might just only replicating to cloud. But you have the flexibility with LaserVault to select which volumes are going to be replicated where, whether it's at a DR location or cloud storage. Again, I also mentioned replicating to tape, which can be done with the IBM dedupe tape command, BRMS's dupe media BRM to replicate to tape, as well as going from tape to from physical tape to virtual. So you can go from virtual tape or from physical tape to virtual tape if you want to, and move some of your physical tape backups over to a virtual tape on disk. So along with replication, there's also retention, where you can set retention on local copies, which is again the library path on where you're saving to on premise. Remote retention would be the volumes that you're replicating to your DR site, to your cloud storage. So those can be set to a different retention compared to the local retention saves. So if you're looking to keep certain retention backups longer, say in cloud storage after they've been replicated, as opposed to the local copy, then you can certainly do that by using these settings for local and remote retention. Using BRMS Robot Save, you have those capabilities within your media policies to determine retention of your tapes before they are initialized at expiration. Also, LaserVault has a parameter here for replication of replication jobs that have completed or currently running. or had a particular error. If there was an error in the replication, network connection was lost, something like that. So those are automatically sent to an email group or an email account. And then you can also set here which volumes apply to this replication, and also any of the retentions that you've set. So a volume serial, you get 6 characters for your volume ID. You typically, folks will use a 1, 2, or 3 character prefix, and that can be specified here so that those particular sets of media are performed with this replication job or with retention, local or remote. You want to replicate to Microsoft Azure. We've got the settings here for your cloud storage account using Azure. This would be blob storage, similar to Wasabi, similar to S3. And for Azure, you can do hot, cool, or archive in terms of how quickly you need to be able to recover those from cloud storage. And you also have retention, local and remote, set for any copies that are replicated to cloud storage. And then we'll go here and take a look at library 1, where we have a tape device. Now, LaserVault connectivity from the IBM I to the virtual tape solution can either be fiber channel, 8, 16, 32, 64 gig fiber channel. You can connect directly, connect via switch. LaserVault does support NPIV on fiber channel, up to 64 virtual tape devices per physical fiber channel port connected into LaserVault. So that would give you either multiple tape libraries to use on multiple partitions, one tape library with multiple tape devices, those tape devices in that tape library is shared amongst multiple partitions, but 64 virtual tape devices per physical fiber channel connection in LaserVault. SAS is also available, so using SAS HBA in LaserVault with the cable connected to a 57B3 or 57B4 on the IBM Power side gives you SAS connectivity and a tape device. So if you did have multiple tape drives, they'd be listed here: drive 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then below this would start your slots for all your virtual tapes that are available. To create tapes, it's pretty simple. Click the create button there. Put in a prefix of 1, 2, or 3 characters. You can click create multiple tape images. This is the next starting slot that's available, and this is the number of slots available. I can go ahead and create 10 new tapes and go ahead and initialize those. So once your media is created, they're added into the slots here. They're stored here in this particular example. You can move a tape manually into a drive. With admin, which I am currently logged in as, I also have the ability to delete a tape image, export. That means moving it to export path. In this case, that is Azure Cloud Storage, that path, the export path up here at the top. This is cloud storage. Now, exporting is not the same as replication. Exporting is moving. Replication is copying. So when you export a tape, you're moving it from the inventory of the virtual tape library to that path. You can go to import and see any tapes that you've exported and check off which one you want back into inventory. So if I want TAP 16 back in the virtual tape library, I can bring that back from the export path by checking next to the tape, clicking import, and it'll be copied back down into the library path and added into inventory into a slot. Protect a tape, so you can protect a tape so that it cannot be overwritten, deleted, initialized. Unprotect the tape basically turns the protect feature off. You can control the protect and unprotect from the IBM I side. We have commands to protect a tape on the IBM I side. It's basically a simple CL program that is provided, and another program to do a protect on a tape. So you can automatically protect a tape when the backup's complete, automatically unprotect it when you want to save to it before it's saved to or initialized or appended. Labels, this will show you if you want to see what's on the tape in terms of what libraries have been saved to it, the sequence, and also the size. All of this data is, of course, available in products like BRMS, where it keeps a database of the objects and libraries. And that is the case when you're emulating this as a tape library. It has auto load and unload. So if you run a control group from BRMS, the next tape is loaded automatically into the drive and the save begins. If you perform a restore and you select an object or library from BRMS, which knows which volume you're restoring from, it automatically loads that volume for the restore into the virtual tape drive. So you have all the same capabilities with your backup software that you are using with physical tape. You have all those same capabilities with virtual tape, except for the fact that you can see here in my inventory, I can have everything available to me to restore it anytime I need it. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick overview. Let's go ahead and complete our slides here. So simple transition, faster saves, restore, recover in minutes, data protection, disaster recovery, deduplication. So just some of the things that are going to make going from physical tape to virtual tape super beneficial in your business and protecting your data from the IBM I Power systems. Additional resources in the go to meeting, go to webinar panel. You can download testimonials, some data sheet information, sizing questionnaire. This is good for giving us an idea of the amount of disk space required to store your backups, and also in terms of what your needs are in terms of replication. Also the fiber channel connectivity, whether it's the speed of the fiber channel connectivity, the speed of the number of physical fiber channel ports, and also in a SAS environment, the number of SAS ports that need connections to the IBM Power system. 12 reasons to go tapeless, and then which is a video of LaserVault in 60 seconds. So just some information that you can download from the Go to Webinar panel. Online demo is a great way for us to get to know your IBM backup requirements in terms of the amount of data that you're currently saving, your retentions in terms of how long you're keeping dailies, weeklies, and monthly backups, so that we can help size, disk space, whether you need wanting to use a server to host the LaserVault ViTL solution along with fiber channel or SAS HBAs. Now, I do want to mention you can run LaserVault ViTL because we offer it as a software perpetual license, not a monthly or yearly subscription license, but a perpetual license. So it's a one-time investment of the LaserVault ViTL software that you can install on an existing server, a new server. You can install this in a VM, this software. Again, you would need a PCIe slot in the host of that server for your fiber channel or SAS HBA. So an custom online demo gives us the ability to help you configure what you need in terms of hardware, storage, SAS or fiber channel HBAs, a software only solution where you're providing what is needed to host the software in terms, and also the fiber channel or SAS HBAs. And not only that, but for a demo, you would receive a $50 Amazon gift card when we complete that demo. So I want to thank everybody for your time. We do have a drawing for a pair of Bluetooth earbuds after this live session concludes, and winner will be notified via email posted on our website, laservault.com. Feel free to contact us at info@laservault.com or the phone number below. We'd be happy to work with you on configuring software or a complete solution in terms of software and server and storage. There is a way to ask questions in the GoToWebinar panel or the GoToMeeting panel. So if you wanted to go ahead and ask any questions, I can hang on for any of those that want to ask a couple questions, or we can answer those here for you during this presentation. Okay, great. Well, I want to thank everybody for your time. Please let us know if we can help you evaluate a ViTL solution for your IBM Power Systems backups. And appreciate your time, and everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.